In his newspaper, Sudharak, Gopal Ganesh Agarkar gave his staunch opinion about child marriage, law of consent. Maharshi Vittal Ramji Shinde organized a conference against the practice of Devdasi. In her book Stree Purush Tulana, Tarabai Shinde very fiercely put up her views about women's rights. Maharshi Dhando Karve started the Anath Balikashram, an orphanage for girls. His intention was to give education to all women and make them stand on their own feet. Through his efforts, the first women's university was set up in the 20th century. Pandita Ramabai founded the Sharda Sadan and took up the responsibility of taking care of disabled children and women. Ramabai Ranade, through the medium of Seva Sadan Institute, started the nursing course for women. She demanded the right to vote for women. Through articles, Dr. Ambedkar spoke about the injustice towards women. Mahatma Gandhi also advocated education of women. Women have given valuable contribution during the freedom movement. So children, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Vishnu Shastri Pandit made great efforts to obtain recognition for widow marriages. Gopal Ganesh Agarkar strongly objected to the attitude that confined women to kitchen and child rearing. He was of the opinion that boys and girls both should be given the same education. He strongly asserted that a woman should be able to move about in society as freely as a man. Maharshi Dhando Keshav Karve founded a widow's home or Anath Balikashram for the education of widowed girls. His efforts resulted in the establishment of the first women's university in the 20th century. Maharshi Vittal Ramji Shinde launched a reform movement for women among the larger sections of society. He organized a conference at Mumbai against the practice of Devdasi. In the south, Periyar Naikar strongly opposed this practice of Devdasi. He condemned the expensive marriage system that reduced women to a secondary position. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, through his articles, exposed the injustice inflicted on women in the male-dominated society. Many women began to join his movement, and this movement took women's reforms to the lowest sections of society. Women's reform movement helped in closing down many unjust practices in the society. The voice for problems against the women broke out. Women started putting up their own thoughts through their writings. Their performance in every sectors of life flourished due to education. So children, the women's reform movement resulted in putting an end to many unjust practices. The idea that women should be treated as equals began to take root. Women began to prove their abilities in many fields of life. So children, today I have discussed the reform regarding women. Earlier in this topic I discussed the Indian Renaissance, and also you have come to know about some institutions those have taken the responsibility to bring changes in the society. Children, here I want to say that in my last virtual session I told you about era of religious and social reforms. In that particular topic, in that particular matter, I told you about some institution just like Brahmo Samaj, Paramahansa Sabha, Prarthana Samaj, Satya Shodhak Samaj, Arya Samaj, etc. Children, in your notebook, if you make a table regarding these institutions and their work, then it will be easier for you to keep all this information in your mind. You can make a table in this way that the first column you should write the name of the institution. In the second column, year of foundation means when the institution it was founded. Then the name of the founder, it is very important. Just like Brahmo Samaj, it was founded in 1828. So in the column of institution you can write the name Brahmo Samaj. In the next column, year of foundation, you can write 1828. Then in the third column, that is founder, who was the founder? Raja Ram Mohan Roy. And then the work of the Brahmo Samaj, you can write just like developed ideology of Advaita, then opposed child marriage, sati and Parda system. Whatever the work of Brahmo Samaj, you can write in that particular column. So, in this table form, if you note down in your copy, then it will be easier for you to keep all those information in your mind, and it will be helpful for you also in your examination. So children, in your copy you should make a table, 4 columns you should make. You should write the name of institution, then the year of foundation, the third column that is the name of the founder, and the fourth column that is the work of the institutions. Today I have discussed about the reforms of reform regarding women. In this particular section, you came to know that the condition of women at the beginning of the 19th century was miserable in our country. They did not get an equal treatment. They were denied education. They had no economic and social rights. They were victims of evil practices such as female infanticide, child marriages, marriages of young girls with aged men, dowry systems, sati, prohibition of widow marriage, and so on. And then the movement for reforms regarding women addressed these issues, and the agitation against the abominable practice of sati launched by Raja Rammohn Roy led to the passing of the act banning the practice of sati. And also, children, I have discussed today about the contribution of Gopal Hari Deshmukh. Then you have come to know about Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, Savitribai Phule, his wife, taught despite strong opposition from the society. Then you came to know about Ishachandra Vidyasagar, who made great efforts to obtain recognition for widow marriages. Gopal Ganesh Agarkar strongly objected to the attitude that confined women to kitchen and child rearing. You came to know about Maharshi Dhando Keshav Karve, who founded Widows' Home or Anath Balikashram for the education of widowed girls. Then Vittal Ramji Shinde launched a reform movement for women among the larger section of society. He organized a conference at Mumbai against the practice of Devdasi. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, through his articles, exposed the injustice inflicted on women in the male-dominated society, and this movement took women's reforms to the lowest sections of society. So children, the women's reform movement resulted in putting an end to many unjust practices, and the idea that women should be treated as equals began to take root. Women began to prove their abilities in many different fields of life. So children, you have to read your textbook. The last part of the topic, that is religious reforms among the Muslims and movement in Hindu society, I will cover that part of tomorrow. And now you have to read the textbook from the beginning of the topic. You should read the textbook, because so many points, so many things are written regarding the topic, so many names are given here. Regarding the institutions and the work, already I have given you the instruction how can you prepare yourself, or how it will be helpful for you to recapitulate all those things. And today whatever I have covered, you go through your textbook. The last part of the topic I will cover tomorrow. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay healthy.